Greetings once again, and we have another one-shot going on tonight. I have Better with Bacon and the Titterpig Rancher here. Sable, as they're also known, who was here for the previous one earlier this month, and that seemed to go fairly well with them and the Gaming Wolf. And this is going to be a different genre. Instead of spaghetti western, more space truckers, hence Space Truckin being the name of the session. So with that said, we'll go through introductions real quick. I am Deepwell Ink Entertainment, also known as Blue Gesture among many other monikers. Micah, I designing the FARAD system in its fourth alpha and running the channel and serving as Arbiter for this one-shot and generally since the system is still so new. And pass it on to Bacon.
Hey, I'm James Bacon. I run the channel Better with Bacon on YouTube. You can often find me in the Raven Keep Discord, which is Heath's from Heath Geekverse. Heath's Geekverse Discord server. I'm excited to, dip my toes into the FARAD system.
All right, and Titterpig Rancher.
Yeah, I typically go by Seattle Phoenix over Discord and on what most people in Heath's Geekverse know me by. That's how I met Bacon. And I do have a recently rebranded YouTube channel for Titterpig Rancher where I'm going to be talking about RPGs. Once I get the entire production pipeline and process figured out. And we had, I guess, 3 weeks ago or so, the first time I've actually played any of the FARAD system. So didn't seem like, at least in the version that we were playing of it, the level we were playing of it, didn't seem too difficult to grasp. So I'm looking forward to kind of exploring it a little bit now.
All right. And with that short introduction, we will start jumping into the session proper. So, you are both space truckers, as is the common vernacular for your professions, also known as Stellar Transportation Services, as the company that you work for in many of the different contracts that you have tends to classify it for their documentation. The date is Friday, January 10th, 2200. It is midnight UTC, which is the time zone that is in use on your ship, considering that you are far beyond Earth and other time zones on the Mars colony as well. And most of the asteroids don't have enough different settlements on them or mining operations to have multiple time zones. So it is easiest to sync up with Universal Time Code. Now, the two of you are incoming to one of the locations that you regularly pick up different shipments of ore coming out of one of the asteroid mining projects. And with that, who is going to be piloting it in at this present moment, since the two of you rotate off in order to ensure somebody is always awake and alert.
I mean, I'm okay with doing it, unless you'd like
Yeah,
to.
you can start.
Yeah.
No, that's
Okay,
fine.
cool. I'll start.
All right. So for that, you're going to go ahead and make a traversal check, and you have 2 die advantage due to piloting. So you get to roll your 2d6 as...
I rolled a 12, believe it or not.
All right. Well, was that with the die advantage, or was that just the straight first roll?
That was just a straight 2d6. Is there something I should roll in addition to?
Okay, so on your character sheet, you have a
Yes.
+3 modifier, so you'll also add that. So it'll be 15.
Okay.
Ordinarily, if you hadn't rolled the maximum on your very first roll, you'd roll it a second time and take the higher of the two options.
I see.
Per dice. But seeing as how you hit maximum, there's no need to roll it again. However, since you hit maximum on the 2 dice, you also gain 2 luck points. So where you have on your character sheet where it says luck 1d4, go ahead and change the 1 to a 3, because you have 3d4 available to spend through the session.
Alright, I'm going to have to find luck 1d4.
Should be right under hedge, just below.
Yeah, I have it here. So I should put 2d4?
3d4, because you had 2 6s.
Right. Gotcha. Got it.
So that brings it up to a solid success. You can go ahead and describe how you are bringing it into the landing platform at the project.
Lester radios in to excuse me, one moment please. I am so sorry. What a bad time for... So sorry, I had a tickle in my throat. Lester radios in to air traffic control, sends across his credentials. They respond immediately, let him know what docking bay to head toward. So I'm going to head toward docking bay 2 as instructed. I pull in very smoothly. The docking clamps engage. It doesn't disturb the ship. It's almost as if I slid it in directly parallel with the bay, and the clamps reach out, hold on, and we are now docked.
Okay. One moment. I'm just going to adjust my settings because I'm seeing the green circle popping up when I'm not speaking, so I think that's picking up a local sound I'm not hearing with my headphones on.
Yeah, sure thing.
Alright, I'm reconnected. That should hopefully fix that. Just decrease the sensitivity a little bit. Alright. So, yes, you arrive, and there's no difficulty in radioing in and making sure which platform that you are landing on and connecting to. Seeing as how you have arrived without any difficulty, your co-pilot and partner on your trucking adventure is able to be approached, since the two of you are both supposed to be present whenever receiving and delivering any transport, one to check the documentation and one to check the exterior of the shipment itself, and if necessary to inspect further than just the exterior. Like modern day shipping, they do use tags around it to show that it has, been sealed and not been tampered with through transport. However, they're not supposed to put on that tag until after you've inspected it to make sure you know what's in it.
I will set about inspecting.
Okay, and then...
Besides, well, go ahead, apologies.
Okay. Titterpig Rancher, you didn't have a name of your character on the sheet, so I don't know what to call them.
I just added Brent Hargrove.
Okay, so Brent.
That's a great name.
So, Brent, you would also be awake now that you're both arriving, and however the two of you would decide who is inspecting and who is doing the paperwork, I will leave to you. But
if
that would be the next step.
Yeah, if Bacon's already handling the inspections and stuff, then I'll go down to the dockmaster to take care of the documentation. No problem there.
So
Sounds good to me.
So I'm going to have you both do an interaction check. This is your attributes into your trial checks. You don't have a skill or item that would specifically apply to this. So we'll just do it as a straight check. And that will be -2 from whatever you roll.
-2?
-2.
Okay.
-2, okay.
Interesting.
5. Got a 5.
Yeah, and that puts me at a 6.
Okay. So that comes up as a failure with bonus on both. So in that particular case, we'll start with Brent with the documentation. All through the while, as you are talking about the documentation with the individual who is present at the project and ready, they keep blathering on and on and on, and a lot of the documentation itself, it's filled out, but the handwriting is extremely messy, and this is despite the fact that they have the option of just using a keyboard on their pad before they transmit the files, but clearly they've used a stylus to sign it by hand, and it's quite a mess. Now, you can interpret it, and it seems to match what we're saying that it is supposed to be from what they've said aloud. They are mentioning there's a lot of iron and nickel and just general rock. But there's also part of the form that's supposed to be for specific other minerals that might be found in the asteroid when mining, and large parts of it are not checked. So they are kind of fumbling their words and such, and saying, "Oh, they forgot to check them. They didn't find anything significant enough." So it's up to you if you are going to check them, or try and have them resubmit the form and wait on that, or if you're going to have Lester be able to tell you if they've made a mistake in not filling out any of them.
So part of that got cut off or garbled a little bit. What were the options?
So you can either check off no in the parts where they say that they didn't find anything significant of assorted different minerals. You can have them redo the form, which would have to wait while they do so. or you can wait until Lester finishes the inspection to see whether or not they noticed anything that specifically needs to be added on.
Okay, yeah. I'll roll my eyes and take a copy of the paperwork and head back to Lester and do a check off ourselves to make sure everything is actually kosher.
All right. And Bacon, I see you are muted currently. Are you still present, or just?
I am present. I apologize. There was a little bit of a commotion. I didn't want to be an interruption, but
That's
we're
perfectly fine. That's why I was double checking before just asking if you could perform the next check. So, with the result of your check, you did find that there's, as expected, a lot of iron and nickel. However, the estimated volume seems to be slightly off from what you're expecting. And it isn't smoothed out so much as there's a mound in the center and flowing down the sides. Usually they're supposed to shake it up and try and get it packed in as tightly as they can before sealing it. You're not entirely certain why they didn't do that, and then, add in some packing on top. But it does look like it's iron and nickel. Possibly more, but you'd have to dig in a little bit.
Where's the shipping manifest? Who has the shipping manifest?
Okay. And with that,
Right.
Brent would be walking over already.
Yeah.
Well, who provided you with the shipping manifest?
Some Yahoo at the.
Like, this is clearly not your fault.
No, I don't know what's going on at the desk either, but the guy must have been his first day on the job. This documentation is an absolute mess, and I'll hand the. I guess it's like a some kind of a digital pad or something, right?
Yes.
I'll hand that over to Lester to try and cross-reference.
Okay. And Lester,
I'll take a look.
Yeah, you would definitely notice that there's multiple parts that are not checked off.
What are they trying to do?
Apparently, this whole hull was sent by monkeys or something. No idea.
Well, I can't. I mean, obviously, we can't transport this. We don't have a complete shipping manifest.
Right.
So, well,
I'm
at a loss.
I'm thinking that we got to go. We got to go past the dock work, the dock master, and actually go to wherever Cargo Central is around here.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, maybe look at the actual original filing. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah. More
I mean,
contact.
it's not like we haven't had this kind of thing happen before.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just kind of over it.
No argument there.
Okay. So you're considering looking to see who's in charge of the actual mining itself, the foreman, versus the person who's working at the docks at present.
Right.
Are you going to further inspect the shipment itself before talking to them to discuss where it may be off?
Well, unless Lester says anything, Brent's definitely going to go start doing an itemized inventory manually, right? Eyes on, so we know what we're actually dealing with versus what we're being told.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'll go find someone to talk to while you're doing that.
All right. Sounds good. Always delays, man.
Unbelievable.
Hey, at least we're paid for time in space, not time waiting.
This is true. This is true. All right, I'm going to head out and try to find someone to talk to about this, see where the shipping manifest came from or who handed it off to who and how this could have happened.
Okay. Lester, go ahead and make a traversal check. This will be your talking to assorted people at the docks and getting directions and trying to go without getting confused in terms of where the foreman is supposed to be at this present time. Be just a flat check.
Six.
Okay. You do have your luck die if you'd like to use any. Otherwise, that would be a fail with bonus.
Oh, I'll use a luck die, and this is going to be 1d4, yes?
Yes.
Okay, 1d4. Three. So that's now a 9.
Okay, so that bumps it up from fail with bonus to a success at cost. It is going to take you a little bit of time, but you don't waste a lot of it, as you are sent from a couple of people to somebody who eventually gets you going in the right direction.
Man, how many people are going to bounce me around between?
Thankfully, only 3. All right. Meanwhile, Brent, as you are inspecting the shipment, I am going to have you go ahead and make a, let's say another interaction check, and this will be a -3 on it as you are looking through the container itself.
What's so difficult about this, man? Okay. That would be... Wow. Double 1.
Okay.
Well, the Snake Eyes last session, too. So that is a -1 on my roll.
Okay. So primarily the main thing that is making it a bit difficult is the fact that while there's the storage container itself and how large it is for depending on the size of the shipment itself, inside that storage container are multiple smaller boxes which are strapped down to keep them from jostling around. However, a lot of them are not properly secured, so they would be bouncing around in transport. They're not properly sealed on a lot of them. They're not shaken and smoothed out to be level and some padding added onto the top to seal it properly. And there's as many boxes as there's supposed to be in there, but they're all a mess. So you literally have to spend a lot of time getting a separate container to put stuff into to actually sort it out and find out what is going on. Due to the amount of time, despite the fact that it's a failure in the time expenditure, you do eventually find why these are all such a mess. There's a smaller container inside 2 of the larger ones, which is not on the manifest.
Okay.
These containers are not. These containers are not fully sealed. Your suit is properly shielded as is expected for space because there's no atmosphere to deal with electromagnetic radiation. However, you can see on your wrist that your Geiger counter is starting to go off.
What the hell?
Regulations state that if there is any radioactive material that is, of course, any material can be radioactive over a very long half-life, any potentially fissile material that could be used for any nuclear power plant or bomb or the like is supposed to be reported and picked up at the next delivery spot by an agent working for the Stellar Alliance. And this is not reported.
What is going on here? I'll pull out whatever passes for a cell phone, smartphone, and dial up. And I'm assuming that we have connectivity.
Yes.
Through our ship, right?
Yes.
So, okay. So I'll dial them up and let them know that we have a problem.
Okay.
And that we need to be in contact with the authorities, apparently.
Well, what's the problem?
Problem is my Geiger counter's going off. Somebody put unreported nuclear material in our cargo without apparently anyone knowing. Or if they do know, something fishy's going on.
Well, this is the mother of all screw-ups.
Yes.
All right. I guess I'm going to continue to look for people to see who the last person who laid hands on this was, because the authorities are probably going to want to question them anyway. So,
yeah. Oh yeah.
If you want to handle calling the authorities, I'll keep looking to see who I can find.
Okay. Hang on for a second. I'm getting a phone call, so I need to go mute for a bit.
No worries.
All right. And Lester, as you've taken the time to communicate back and forth with them, you have finally found where the foreman is supposed to be located.
Supposed to be located or is located?
Well, you're outside their office. You haven't yet entered into it.
I will knock firmly, but not angrily.
All right. As you are doing so, I'd like you to make a interaction check.
Okay. So 6 plus. Are we at a minus or I have a modifier 2 on my sheet?
Nope, it's just a flat check, so it'll be with your modifier.
All right, 6 plus 2 is 8.
Okay, so that is a success at cost. As you are knocking on the door, you notice that there appears to be a bit of wear around where the actual bolt is supposed to shut for locking the door, seeing as how they have to be airtight. But the bolt itself looks like it's been broken frame and welded back on.
Okay.
All right, sorry about that. I'm back.
I guess I'll knock again, and I'll wait this time to see if there's anyone who calls to the door or if there's an answer. I'll wait about 15 seconds, and then I'll just try the door.
All right. The door itself at present appears to be stuck, but not fully locked. It can be opened if you want to use a strafe check to try and slam it open. There is no response that is coming from inside, however.
You know what? I'm not going to be, knowing that the authorities are on their way, knowing that I have a situation back at the ship, I'm going to take a note and turn back around and head toward the cargo bay to meet Brent.
Okay. Brent, as you are going back to the ship to radio the authorities, I would like you to make a interaction check as you are looking out at the docks, having left the shipping container itself.
No mods, just straight?
Just straight.
7.
Okay. So, as you are looking, the dock master who was in place is nowhere to be seen on the dock as you are heading back to your ship. There are a few other people who are still on the dock, and they're seeming to be doing their work. However, they don't seem to be caring much about what is going on. And normally, when people are forced to wait when dealing with these shipments, you tend to at least see a little bit of grumbling and not terribly concerned with the details of what they're doing. And they seem to be doing things by the book as they are going about their work.
This whole situation smells, and so I'm going to pick up the pace, get back to the ship as quickly as possible, and grab my pistol just to be on the safe side.
All right. You do manage to get back to your ship without any difficulty. Once inside, you are able to start accessing comms. However, the moment that you start pulling up the system to check it, you do notice that it is saying that there is an issue with transmission. There is some sort of jamming that is in place at present.
Okay. What was I doing as far as comms? Did I need to do that in order to contact the authorities?
Yes, since
Okay, gotcha.
Since they aren't on the asteroid itself, because this is just a mining project. This isn't a larger settlement like any city or anything like that. So you would be sending out a message and then having them come and further investigate.
Oh, so we don't have like onboard security?
The only security that would be present would be those that are from the mining company itself to deal with inter-conflict between employees.
Oh, okay.
I will cycle through the different channels, see if I can find a clear one or if it's broad spectrum jamming.
Okay.
And if our ship has any of the ability to do so, I want to try and see if there's any way to cut through it.
All right. As you devote the time to do so, you are able to find that it is through the majority of channels that are considered common. However, they do, from the authorities, pick up on a wider band that just isn't as often utilized. And unfortunately for whoever is trying to jam you, they didn't widen it enough. You are able to get a message out.
Okay.
It will take time for getting any sort of reply back, but you can certainly fill them in enough that most likely, while the message will receive you faster than their arrival, they will be sending somebody out immediately even as they are starting to send out their message.
I am going to make sure I'm armed, and I'm going to find. Does our ship have any other armaments intrinsic to the actual craft, rather than just my personal sidearm?
It would have some small ones that are meant for dealing with micrometeors and necessary propelling space debris away from the ship. The ship itself is not really intended for serious combat. Part of the reason why it doesn't have anything more significant than that, which still could be of use against, humans present, would be that the Stellar Alliance has previously, when they did arm more ships for the possibility of conflict, some of them were stolen by those who left the Stellar Alliance, either individually themselves or forcibly when pirates from other vessels that left by choice commandeered them.
There are lasers that are strong enough for micrometeorites, and they'll serve as a makeshift point of defense. I'm going to make sure they're all charged up and hot.
Okay. As you are doing that, the individuals who were working in the dock area move back inward, further into the project itself. And Lester...
So away from the ship, out of range?
Well, not necessarily out of range, because you can fire for quite a distance, but more or less behind cover, because they're going into the rock of the asteroid.
I will also give my co-pilot a call and let him know what I'm observing, and the fact that I'm taking measures to prepare for an altercation if necessary, and let him know to be careful on the way back and make it quick.
All right, I quicken my step to get back to the area, cargo bay.
Okay. Lester?
Hold, bay, whichever.
Lester, as you are doing so, there are a few people wearing uniforms that would be from the dock area itself, and I'm going to have you go ahead and make a let's say a flat strafe check, as they are attempting to draw at the same time as you are coming up on them.
Rolled a 9.
Happening from the ship?
Okay. That would be a success at cost. From the ship itself, at present, no, they are behind rock and passageways into the deeper part of the project. Lester, you all draw at the same time. There's 2 of them and 1 of you at present. However, they haven't started firing. They just... one of them motions for you to go out, and they are using close channel comms to tell you that your buddy out there seems to be aiming lasers at the dock.
I didn't say I wanted him pointing anywhere. I just wanted him charged up.
Yeah.
I know the system to be hot.
Yeah. They are saying this regardless of the fact that they shouldn't be able to tell.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, Lester, however, being further inside, would not necessarily know that you haven't, though he should know that they wouldn't know necessarily unless you started firing. So, at present, Lester, they are just simply telling you to get out to your ship.
Get out of my ship?
No, get out to your ship. Since you're still in the corridor and they're more or less like they are seeming like they want you to make sure that your buddy doesn't fire on the dock.
Right. I'll actually radio, right? Or call. I'll just call. It's faster than running. Because I don't, I'm like, I feel like I don't even know what really is going on here. If you know, yeah, I'll call. Brent, everything okay?
Absolutely no idea, to be honest. How about for you?
I don't know. I'm being hurried back to the ship because they're afraid that you're going to fire on the dock.
How would they? I haven't been shooting at anybody. I did charge up the shielding lasers just to be on the safe side, but that's not something they'd be able to tell unless I actually started using them, which I haven't. So that's weird.
Yeah, this is very strange.
If they're letting you get back to the ship, then I think you should be on here. I don't know what is happening over at the docking and the cargo, but this whole thing seems like
Yeah, they're letting me, but
smugglers,
they're
terrorists.
really encouraging me to get back there as soon as possible. And if you're not a threat, I am dubious. Is there anyone in the cargo bay that you can see?
At present,
Not everybody headed out once I started
Okay.
warming up the ship's systems. So
All right. Well, provided that you did get a hold of security or, the authorities, and provided that you are now in a ship with nuclear reactive substance in one of our containers, do you, it might be best for you to just get out of the ship, and we'll figure it out from there. I mean, what's
yeah,
your what's your input on that?
I don't know if here the thing is, I don't know if we're going to have people coming in to try and get this. People who shouldn't have access.
Right.
Obviously, this is as illegal as all hell, and I don't know. I feel like once you're on the ship, we just lock everything down.
My worry is that we're being set up, and that once I get on the ship, they'll manufacture some sort of excuse to fire on us, right? And because we don't know what's in the crate, we just know that it's emitting radiation, and so I would be worried that hey, they're going to fire on us. We'll probably get blown up either way, but I don't want to This whole thing seems very strange to me. This is atypical behavior.
Yeah, no kidding. I can't even. All right. Yeah, well. We'll go along with that. We should probably see if we can find the dock master.
Okay.
He's not here anymore, by the way. So I don't think I'm told to that.
Well, I mean, so what are we going to do? Are you getting out of the ship? Am I getting onto the ship?
Well,
I feel, well, and we
here,
can take it either way, right? Because if they're rushing me to get onto the ship, if I rush to get onto the ship and then they're going to rush us to leave, I would imagine for how weird this situation is. As long as we don't disembark, we should be okay. They can't fire on us while we're in the hangar.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that might be the best decision. I'll go ahead and I'll meet you on the ship. I'll be right there.
All right. Just make it quick. This whole thing.
Yeah. You got it.
Okay. So, the two people from the dock who still have their weapons drawn let you go ahead and keep talking back and forth because they can, while your visor's polarized for being able to go out and about, they can at least see that you're making general movements of your body as you're talking, and they at least guess that you're probably in communication, since that is what you likely would reasonably do when being told to hurry back to your ship, rather than just buying time without anything else going on. So they do let you back into the dockyard and shut the door behind you. And as you are out into the dock itself, your suit is telling you that the pressurized air in the dock itself is being cycled to funnel it back into the asteroid project itself to be stored for whenever the next vehicle would come in, just in case somebody had a leak in their suit or whatever, that it wouldn't be just vacuum that they would be exposed to. So,
well, this doesn't bode well. So if I'm to understand correctly, then what's happening is that they're depressurizing the hangar.
Correct.
Okay, so they might be trying to blow us out.
Well, they're cycling it rather than just opening it and having it all vent out. So it is at least a slow process, but it is definitely a clear process of should you get a hole in your suit while you're out there, it will most likely be a very quick end.
They're just making it inhospitable then.
Yes. At least at present. You said that they likely wouldn't shoot on their own dock. This at least does increase a little bit of risk if they should choose to do so.
Okay. I mean, I guess we stay put, and I mean, Brent, we have two choices, right? We can either level the weapons or try to disembark in such a way so as to avoid getting fired on. I don't know how successful we're going to be. What are your thoughts? Brent? Are you muted? Am I muted?
No, you're not muted.
Oh, okay.
If he's muted, it's on his end, not through Discord.
I recall him having some issues recently. We may just have to give him a minute.
Hello.
There you
Okay,
are.
there you go.
Hey. That was all really garbled. What was going on? I missed.
Oh, okay. Apologies. So they're cycling the air out to make it inhospitable. I think that we have two choices, right? We either level the
I
weapons
got
like
the
they were,
air. Yeah,
huh?
okay. I said I
Yeah, we
got
either
the air being cycled out, and then after that, it started just
okay, yeah, we either level the weapons on them like they had said that you were already doing before I got back here to threaten them, or we try to disembark, which is, I think, the worst of the two ideas, because A, we're going to be sitting ducks. B, this is a highly illegal cargo that's already been loaded on, so we're going to be leaving with this. I guess, what do you think we should do?
Well, there's nothing to actually shoot at yet.
No, there's nothing to shoot yet. We would
So I don't.
essentially be firing on the station.
Yeah, no, that's not. Definitely don't want to do that. I want to. That doesn't make any sense. Like, there's no. I say we just sit tight and wait for the authorities to get here.
Okay, that's what we will do.
And just to make sure the ship is completely locked down from any outside access.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So, as you are choosing to wait it out, the air does fully cycle, and Lester, you are able to get on the ship and be sealed in for the time being while you're waiting it out. There is some movement in the dockyard as a crate opens up, and you can see that there is a small robot that is being remotely piloted out. It is typically used for exploring deeper crevices that might have something that is more fragile that's worth extracting. And right now it just seems like they are remotely controlling it and trying to have it move around the ship itself to get multiple views at it beyond just what they have from the dock's normal stationary camera system. They're definitely examining the underside of the ship, since the robot is not able to move upward to examine anywhere else.
So it's just like a little rover kind of a thing on treads.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, whatever. They're welcome to, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, it's their docking bay. Like, what are we gonna do?
As you continue to wait, there isn't any message that is coming from the asteroid project itself. However, the clamps that are used to ensure that they have a hold of the vessel, in addition to your own magnetic clamps as well, their side of them have disengaged. So
I wonder if they're thinking that we're gonna shoot our way out or something.
Well,
I mean, I think we're being set up. I think that they are intentionally offloading whatever this illegal material is to us, so that they can blame us. Right? This is a cover up of some sort. I'm convinced. This is so entirely against protocol. There's no complete manifest, which means there's no paper trail or digital paper trail. They're essentially trying to blow us out at the moment, and it's a slow process, but that's what they're trying to do. We either stay here and wait for them to do what they're going to do and put themselves in the best situation to do whatever they want to do, or we get the hell out of here and we can jettison the cargo. In fact, you know what? Can we do that now? Can we jettison the cargo now?
You can use some of your loading equipment to push it back out.
Yeah, let's do that. Brent, what do you think about that plan? I don't want to just go and cowboy this. Do you think that's reasonable?
Yeah.
Because I don't if we're leaving, I don't want to leave with that thing on board, right? Because it's just going to be a chase.
They put it on, they can deal with it.
Yeah, let's do that.
I agree.
Okay. So you are able to use your lift. You have a small powered device that is meant for wheeling things in and out, and they have their own as well, just in case, say, yours or theirs were malfunctioning. So you are able to start unloading the container, regardless of whether or not they may have marked in their records that you've received it or not. You have not transmitted that you have. So in terms of any investigation or the like, your own recording from your vessel of the documentation will state that you did not finalize reception of the materials.
Okay, good.
And you are able to, through insurance adjuster implemented and required hardware, have it recorded that you are pushing it back out.
Okay,
as this is standard with the company that you are with. So you are able to unload it back into the dock. As you are doing so, there's two things you're going to notice. One, even though the docks have been depressurized, the door that you entered, the airlock, to go deeper into the project is opening up, and there are a couple of figures that are coming out. And two, the rover that was using the cameras to look at the underside of your vessel is now starting to use its equipment to try and pick and torch your own magnetic clamps that are holding you to the dock, since they had already released their clamps.
Is there any actual danger of the... if it's just a little rover drone, that doesn't sound like it would be too effective. Is there any actual danger of it actually doing damage to the ship?
It definitely can do cosmetic damage. In terms of anything pressurization or survivability on the ship, no. What it can do, and what it's trying to do at present, is to forcibly cause your electromagnetics that are clamping onto the dock to disengage one at a time, so that the ship would potentially, the force of that disengaging might jostle it a little bit, and once all are disengaged, at least lift it up off the platform. It wouldn't drift you out into space because they didn't explosively decompress, but you wouldn't be docked anymore. You would be in the air. There isn't enough significant gravity without magnetic boots to keep you weighted on the dock.
So if I can you handle the rest of shoving this thing out, and I will intentionally disengage and hold it steady, so that once you do dump it out, you can give me the word and I'll just get us the hell out of here?
Sure. Is this still in 0G?
It's not 0G.
Inside the bay?
There is some gravity. It's just not enough to immediately pull you down fast. You would basically more or less bounce up. It's not quite as much as the moon, but it is similar in that fashion that you would eventually come back down, but you would be floating temporarily and slowly falling down if it disengages in the manner that it's doing. Which, considering that now you are seeing some of the figures coming out of the airlock carrying some very large cylindrical tubes, could be used, if they are what you may suspect they are, to push you out with more explosive force, in addition to possibility of larger damage.
Try the drone. That's Brent is asking, Lester.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the question?
Should I fry the drone?
Yes.
All right.
Fry the drone. This
So
could be bad either way. Just go ahead and fry.
I go ahead and trigger the the screening lasers that can reach the drone to deal enough damage to disable it or destroy it.
Okay. In
I don't
this
know how long I
particular
have to hold
case-
them on target to do so, but if they can melt micrometeorites, they're probably pretty intense.
Yeah. In this particular case, seeing as how this is lasers that are designed for far more than what the target is, you're going to roll 3d6 plus your strife check modifier, rather than just 2d6.
Okay.
Both of us or just him?
Just him if he is firing on the drone.
Gotcha.
Strife modifier, so that's a 13.
Okay. So you rolled the 3d6 plus the 3, and you have a 13 in total?
Correct.
Okay. Just verifying in terms of making sure that you rolled the extra d6.
Yeah, I rolled a 4, a 5, and a 1.
Okay. Gotcha. Alright, well that is enough of a success, and it is not a very durable drone. And it certainly has a massive hole blasted into it. Micrometeors are generally fairly small, so it's not like you've turned it entirely to slag, but you've blasted enough of a hole through it that drones of that design, especially to fit into smaller crevices, are not meant to have such a massive chunk of their internal circuitry just completely melted through. So it immediately stops what it is doing, and the force of it is enough to knock it away, detaching part of its arm, which was in the middle of trying to disengage one of the clamps, from the rest of the drone, because the weak point at the arm is not as durable as the rest of the drone body. So that just snapped off and is still attached, but it's not able to do anything because there's nothing controlling it.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Lester, as you are preparing the ship, as I said, you can see that at least 3 individuals that have exited the airlock are pointing chemically propelled grenades at the vessel at present. They are holding position just outside the airlock, but they are definitely ready to open fire should the need become necessary. This is definitely not standard issue equipment for a asteroid mining project.
Well, I can't pilot and gun at the same time.
Right.
Can I?
Well, no, you can't do that at the same time, but even if you had, Brent is down where the guns are at present, since they just
Oh,
fired on the
yeah.
drone. It's just from their position, they aren't seeing the door because they've been aiming at the drone.
Gotcha.
You can certainly notify them.
Yeah, yes, I will notify them. Incoming.
You're talking about.
Yeah, we have.
Letting Brent know
Yeah,
that-
we have. Incoming explosive devices, as far as I can identify them. So brace, I guess. I'll do what I can to keep this steady, but as the second you get this thing out the door, we got to go. They are trying to.
Okay, have we finished?
They are attacking us. So.
I mean, do they look like they're ready to fire?
They've already fired. They're yeah. There's, in fact, as we're talking, they're probably going to detonate.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm sure that the proximity sensors are able to track RPGs if they can track micrometeorites. So I'm going to zap those too.
Okay.
I
They
like
haven't
the way you think.
yet fired, but you are able to reposition the guns so that they are ready to should it become necessary.
I'll just, if they haven't actually fired, then I will prep. So in case they do fire, that we just fry the RPGs before they hit us.
So at present, you have the guns repositioned, and you're aware that they can't tell necessarily where they are aiming at yet. Just with the design and shielding and such, there's adjustment of the gun within the cavity that they're housed in.
Right.
They did see you just fire at the drone recently, so they might potentially think that you're still aiming at it. But at present, they seem to still be holding their current pattern, and the shipment is not fully pushed off of the ship yet. So if you wish to do that, you will have to at least temporarily move away from the guns to do so. Or you could have Brent drop it off while you stay on the guns, or he could take over the guns.
I mean, I'm Brent.
Sorry, Lester.
Is he's still up in the cockpit, right?
He is.
Okay. Is it so? There's no control. There's no control of the laser system from the cockpit.
Not while you are in dock. It is able to be automated when you're in flight, but for insurance reasons, you are essentially overriding the fact that you are in proximity to this structure at present. Because it's definitely, for insurance purposes, not intended that you're able to use it either against another ship or against, in this case, the drone, without it being documented that you are specifically overriding. Obviously, considering everything that's going on, the recording of you firing on the drone is definitely going to go in your favor. But it's more or less that it automates when you are in deeper space.
I'll radio up or I'll intercom my way up to the cockpit. Well, if they're going to end up shooting at us, I want to stay on the lasers here and keep the screens up. So you're going to need to come and finish getting all the cargo out of the hold.
I do not like this.
I don't either.
I don't know. I didn't
make sense.
I don't even know how I'm going to do this because the ship's been disengaged, so if I what choice do I have? I guess that's what I'm going to try to do then. I'm going to try and, that's the more intelligent decision, is to try and shove it out. So, all right. It could get bumpy. I have no idea what they have in store. I don't know if they're going to try to, depressurize and blow us out, or if they're going to try to actually like blow us up. So I guess
Aren't
steady
we,
yourself for any of that.
aren't we already depressurized?
Yes, there is no oxygen currently in the bay.
Oh, okay. So they can't. Okay. Well, that's good at least.
And they have released their clamps, but your magnetic clamps are still engaged. So it isn't
Can
going
I
to...
throw the switch to disengage the clamps before I leave the cockpit?
You can. What that will do is the force of suddenly disengaging will lift the ship up, and it will slowly start to drift back down. And if you choose to do that, when you aim to push out the stuff, you'll have a slightly higher check on keeping your own device from falling out after the shipment.
All right, I'll just leave the clamps in place and go and try to get this thing out the damn door.
Okay. So, I'm going to have a interaction check from Lester and a strength check from Brent.
I got a 10 flat roll, plus my modifier is 12.
Okay.
And with my modifier, I got an 11 on this rifle.
Okay, so you both have straight successes. Lester, you are able to push the container back out onto the docks and pull your lift back onto the ship quickly. As at the time that the shipping container extends far enough out that it's clear what you're doing, there are 3 chemically propelled grenades that are firing at the ship, but Brent immediately opens fire and is able to take those out before they can reach the ship. The individuals at the dock briefly look at each other. One starts trying to reload, while the other 2 start heading back to the airlock in a hurry.
Okay, with the cargo out of the ship, I'm going to haul it back to the cockpit to see if I can disengage the clamps and just get out of here.
Okay.
I imagine, Brent, you're still operating the laser to...
Yep, I am
Okay.
I'm not going anywhere else until they stop throwing grenades at us.
Makes perfect sense.
Okay. As you disengage and are able to pilot out or remain, whichever you choose to do, the individual who has reloaded makes one more attempt to fire and immediately books for the airlock as well afterward. With the skill that you've shown with the micrometeor laser, you are able to take it out easily, especially since there's only 1 target instead of 3 to fire in quick succession.
Mm-hmm.
And at present, they have all moved back inside. You're not sure if that's simply that they had run out of grenades or realized the futility of it. However, you can notice further in the dockyards that there is a panel that is opening on one of the walls. The bay itself has a secondary vessel that has been concealed within a garage. Typically, this is used for when they're doing repair on their vessels for transporting people to come in and out. This particular vessel is painted black, which is standing out against some of the metal of the garage. And there is a red skull on the front of it, which is currently pointed out toward you.
Unsurprising. So this is so you were actually piloting us out of the bay then, Bacon? Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, insofar as I was able to do so in the time given, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
The laser screen isn't going to do much against a ship, is it?
Not so much. I mean, if you get a good shot, it's possible that you might be able to hit some of the extenders for shielding and such. Plasma window that protects the actual visual window, which is more or less... this vehicle was clearly commandeered from somebody who had a bit of vanity and wanted to visually see rather than just have cameras and screens. So it's possible, but it would be a very difficult check because you have to aim at a target that is shielded mostly around where that spot is. You could theoretically hit them and then hit the glass, which would then depressurize them explosively, but it will be multiple shots fired before that would occur. And you do not know what they may potentially have in terms of weaponry, since they are definitely not held to the same regulations as anyone part of the Stellar Alliance at present.
Right. Are they targeting us? Can I tell?
It does not seem that they're targeting you currently. It seems that people are rushing to the ship from elsewhere within the dockyard area at a different airlock that leads into the garage.
Oh, so this ship is inside the station, and I thought it was waiting outside for us.
No, it is in the garage, in behind a panel that just opened up. So it had been there while you guys had arrived and just been basically, we shut the garage door, we're working on our ship or have the bay empty for it, and you are at the regular area for loading and unloading.
Okay.
So, at present,
I will intercom up again to the cockpit. Looks like we got pirates trying to get to a ship that's been here that they were hiding. I don't know what the insurance claims are going to be if we try and treat them like micrometeorites. What do you think? Should we stop them from getting to their ship?
I mean, at this particular moment in time, I am panicked that they've already attempted to, in my mind, blow us up.
Mm-hmm.
So I am very agreeable with regard to this plan. I just want to stop the threat and get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Okay. I go ahead and I punch I look at the monitors. I hesitate for a moment because these are actually still living people, even if they are pirates. But all things considered, I still go ahead and I punch the button to direct the screens to fire on them before they can reach the pirate ship.
Okay. Are you firing to hit them or to dissuade them from continuing?
It's a laser. It's invisible. I don't think I could dissuade them unless I melt the decking in front of them.
That is an option. It is just leaving it open to your interpretation of which you wish to do. You can definitely make a show of force by melting part
Sure.
of the deck.
Let's do that. Let's do that first. If I can cut them off from reaching the ship, it's as good as just frying them directly. So.
Okay. So go ahead and make that strife check again with 3d6 rather than the 2d6 because this is much more powerful than what your pistol is packing.
Okay. So 3, 1, and 7, or 3. So that's 11. Yeah, that's 11.
Okay. That is a straight success. You are able to melt and have basically flare up part of the deck that is directly in front of them. And the one in front immediately just puts their arms back and almost falls into the others that are giving chase. There seems to be that there are 6 individuals that were en route, and the moment that you fire, they back up and start trying to find cover behind any of the machinery that's in the garage for working on the vessels themselves. You can see that the vehicle itself is starting to have some lights come on, but it is not moving and it is not firing. Somebody stands up briefly from their cover and is tapping at something on their the wrist of their suit. The communications that were previously jammed seems to cut out entirely as you're starting to receive a broadcast across multiple channels, including the standard, that there is indeed incoming authority figures, and you likely think that what they're doing is trying to remote start the ship so that they can risk getting them on board with the engines already primed, just ready to fire out as soon as they can. But as I said, one of them is currently standing up, and they maybe think they have better cover than they have.
I mean, I'm very happy to get the hell out of here now, right? Like, I feel like
Yeah.
we've delayed them to a point where they can't immediately be on us.
Right.
So I'm happy to just undock, punch it, and get out.
Yep. I'm sitting here.
Okay. So with that, you are able to disengage and move out of the docking bay. The doors already previously open since they were trying to encourage you to leave, and these individuals not able to quickly rush back to try and close them to keep you from leaving. Not that they want to trap themselves in either. As you are leaving, there is a pair of vessels that is incoming toward the asteroid mining project itself, and they do ping you a message that they have a third one that is incoming behind them, and that they want you to stop and dock with them in space so that they can check things over themselves manually and get your statement. since they are not wanting to let any vessels away from what is the scene of a reported crime. You are far enough out, though, that you are not at risk of the asteroid itself having any kind of mining operation equipment converted into a weapon to use against you, and certainly not a chemically propelled grenade.
Assuming that Lester's the one who has access to external comms in the cockpit, right? I'm
Yes.
down here. Okay.
So, yeah, I guess I'll hail them.
Okay. So, this message repeats as they are just basically telling you just stay steady for now while the third vessel is incoming, and soon enough it does show up and properly communicate with authorization codes that they are actually from the local law enforcement that's supposed to be in that area, or unlikely that somebody has managed to gain access to the codes for authorization. The vessel itself does not look to have a painted red skull on it, so you wager that at the very least it's not the same group. It most likely is the authorities themselves, and they are extending their module to be able to connect to one of your airlocks to try and come aboard.
So I'm sorry, when you say they have the codes, like they don't have the code, like they're not commandeering my ship. They're not like remote accessing my ship.
There's, as part of
I
insurance
say my,
adjustments
our,
and
apologies.
yes, as part of insurance adjustments and everything like that, the authorities for different sectors of space have specific codes that are supposed to be identifying who they are, which regularly get updated, transmitted to your employers, who then transmit it back to you to say these are the codes that they're supposed to use to indicate that they are actually who they say they are. And not that somebody has an old, out-of-date code and is trying to pretend like they are still in charge of a law enforcement vessel. So it should be that they are who they are saying that they are. You can still have any potential suspicions given everything that's happened, but it does seem reasonable that they are indeed who they claim to be.
I mean, I'm not excited about stopping, but at the same time, I mean, we can't just be fugitives, right? Like we have jobs to do. We can't just kind of.
I mean, are
We
these
can't just start running. Like, how are we supposed to deal with that?
I mean, you
are these actually like little in-system security cutters, or are they actual federal vessels? From the indications.
Well, from the indications, they are assigned to this particular sector of the Sol system. You're out in the Kuiper belt, and they should be the ones who are supposed to be their jurisdiction. It's just a matter of you've just recently dealt with the fact that, there were clearly pirates that had taken over part of a mining operation. You don't know entirely like who else might still be there, but you saw at least 6 that were trying to get to the ship, and they had been dressed in attire like they were supposed to be there. So that's why I'm saying, in terms of if you want to say you have suspicions or whatever, there's reason for that, but there is also evidence that they most likely are law enforcement. It is up to you on how you choose to react in terms of just letting them dock and connect to your airlock or not. Just providing the information available to you on why you may have one or the other thought in mind.
I, I'm I'm still hanging around the lasers for all the good they'll do against anything that's, you know, our size, but I'm not. I don't oppose anything that Lester's thinking. These look like the real deal. That's who we want to deal with. So
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not too keen on running. Um, I feel like once we start, that's it. We're done. We're running for the rest of our lives, and you know we certainly can't go back to work. Uh, so I guess we're gonna just I'll hail them and let them know that we intend to begin the docking slash boarding slash disembarkment.
Okay. They thank you for responding back. They jokingly say that they appreciate not having to force the airlock open, as you're generally, when they say that they are going to connect, they more or less mean you're either going to open or we're going in. And they prefer somebody being cordial. Once you actually have the airlock open, they are fully in uniform. They seem to have the right posture about them. They seem to have the right kind of documentation that matches up to who they say that they're supposed to be and the authorization codes. And they basically start to debrief and look at the recordings that you have from what the drone had been trying to do and from everything else that had happened, including the fact that the mining laser, the micrometeor laser stopped the chemically propelled grenades and didn't blast the pirates themselves, but deterred them from their vessel long enough that the two that are moving in quickly, it seems they did start to try pulling out the pirate vessel as after you had left, and obviously weren't present to continue firing. But the law enforcement vessels were able to stop them prior to them getting anything further away from just outside the docking bay. So they spend a bit of time making sure that they have everything in their reports, and they also provide you access to a copy of the report so that you can file it with the insurance company and with the company that you're under the employ of to say, hey, look, we did arrive for our particular job. We were ready to receive, and they screwed everything up. We should still get paid for the fact that we can't deliver this particular cargo. You would have potentially ended up with slightly lower pay from the company, but then the insurance adjuster offering more. However, the police also offer a small bonus that can be claimed later should they need to have you make a deposition or appear for any sort of court appearance with regard to dealing with these pirates. So all in all, you are making more than what you would have made had it been a normal transport. Had the uranium been reported properly, that would have actually ended up with slightly more pay, but seeing as how that clearly was an illegal operation going on, you're coming out ahead. Not as much, but a little bit.
cool.
That's pretty great, though. You know, we're getting into a crappy situation
Yeah,
and, getting out.
sometimes doing the right thing does pay off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
This is the end of the one shot?
Not quite yet.
Oh, okay.
Getting close.
Apologies.
No. After the officers take down all the information, provide you everything that they need. They return back to their vessel, shutting your airlock behind them, and then moving through their corridor back to their vessel and taking off. They leave you as they continue on to the asteroid base, as they intend on meeting up with their fellow officers and filling them in on why they're letting you go, that they don't see that there's any reason for you to be detained any further or need to come into their station to deal with anything. As you are in space, a distance from the asteroid, and free to go wherever you wish to do so, you are starting to have sensor readings of a gravimetric wave that is coming from beyond the Kuiper belt toward your position.
This doesn't seem good.
Wave. What does that mean? Is that a drive signature?
Possibly. It does seem very concentrated and very strong. If this is a drive signature that you're reading, it is from a probe or a vessel that is traveling a greater distance and rapidly decelerating more than you have seen before.
I mean, we don't have to stick around to see what it is, right?
No, I don't think so. Would we be able to tell if it's going to intersect our course, and if it is going to, will it be doing so at speed, or is it designed to try and intercept and stop?
Well, it's definitely something that is coming from outside the Sol system. Some pirates do go beyond that rather than just hiding in the asteroids. So it's possible it could be something like that. It's possible it could be something that is a project that has been not publicly disclosed, which the Stellar Alliance might have some sort of vessel that they have been test running.
What I mean is, what I was asking is it going to hit us? Or is it going to just try and intercept us?
It doesn't look like it's going to directly hit you. It does look like it will be close enough for you to be able to spot what it is as it is moving inward toward the Sol system itself.
Okay.
At present calculations, just rough estimates, if it doesn't stop and then turn straight path, it seems like it is aiming toward the nearest settlement that is got a large population and broadcasting, which would be Mars, which is still quite a ways in the system, and there are other settlements that are smaller.
If this is something that our little rinky-dink trucker sensors can detect, it's safe to assume that the actual authorities and or military has seen it already, right?
You would assume that they likely are seeing it. Whether or not they are able to do anything, depending on how large the vessel is, you're not entirely certain.
At this point from the cockpit, I'm sure I'm back up there. Then I'll go ahead and, just to be on the safe side, radio to government sources that it seems like perhaps the pirate rendezvous is going to pick up whatever that we had in the cargo might be arriving, and the location where they're going to, just to be on the safe side. And I'm totally down with Lester about getting the heck out of Dodge.
Yeah, I mean, like, you make a good point about long-range scanners. Like, we're a transport vessel. and not a huge one at that. So I suspect that our long range scanners are probably serviceable for what we need them to be. But like, if we're picking up gigantic things, jumping in from that far out, I'm not interested in sticking around. I'm just a trucker, man. I just want to truck.
Okay. As you start making your way, are you just going to head back to your employers or toward a nearest space station for minor repairs, refueling, etc., maybe a round of drinks? You're not expected, due to your inability to deliver your next shipment, you're not expected anywhere until your next job to pick something up and transport it elsewhere. So you have a bit of time available to you.
Well, what do you think, Brent? I mean, I'm happy to do whatever. Like, we can go to, we can head toward the next pickup. Like, I'm sure we have a manifest, so we can check the manifest, see where we're due, the coordinates, and head in that direction. I mean, at some point we're going to have to file some kind of report with home office or home base. But whatever we do, we need to leave now.
Yes.
So we can even fire off in some random direction for all I care, and then we'll figure out what we're doing once we can slow down and get our bearings. So
yeah, I say we go opposite of whatever's coming in at us.
yeah, that's a good idea. Let's just turn around and head in that direction.
Sounds good.
Okay, so at present, it's coming from outside the Sol system, inward. So opposite it would be leaving the Sol system, which doesn't really have anything.
Yeah, do we even have
out
capability?
At present, you only have stellar capabilities for transport because there's a distance between star systems. You could theoretically take a longer jump and go out that way, but it would take you a significant amount of time, and you absolutely would be considered, leaving employment if you took such a long jaunt.
Well, then because it'll probably be easier, because I imagine that there's the travel computer keeps a log of where we've been. We can just pick the last location that we visited before we got to this station. So we'll just pick wherever we came from, right, before we docked here, and just turn around and head there.
Okay. So,
I mean, does that seems reasonable, Brent? Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
So as you make course to return toward the last location that you had been before arriving at this asteroid, the gravimetric readings reach a peak before there is a sphere of light that appears a distance away from the asteroid, but still within your eyesight, that then blossoms and blooms open as swirling blue and white light stretches, and the nose of some sort of vessel of some kind that has certainly not been seen by you starts entering into the Sol system. It is easily equal with the largest of the Stellar Alliance vessels, which they use when they have located a potential pirate stronghold and they want to send a show of force.
Well, I'm glad we're leaving.
Okay. As you are leaving, there is a message that is transmitting onto multiple parts of the spectrum that your scanner is able to pick up. You can choose to simply ignore it and continue on your way, or you can choose to listen in. It is certainly being put out across as pretty much as many different channels as your vessel is capable of receiving, and possibly more.
Dang.
I mean, we could listen. I think information in this situation would be good. Like,
I mean,
even though we're leaving.
we're not out running radio waves, so yeah. Even if
Yeah,
we're heading
I
away
mean,
from
yeah,
it,
we
more
can
for a listen.
listen.
Okay. As you continue on your way, you are able to listen in on the broadcast that is coming through to multiple channels from the vessel. And it seems to have a little bit of crackle and hiss for a second as the dulcet tones start coming through, and it takes a little while for the initial message to come through, and your vessel is able to, through automated uh, detection, pick up what exactly is being broadcast. There's a little bit of garble here and there, static, but it identifies it as a recording of Beautiful Dreamer as sung by Bing Crosby. And this repeats a couple of times before another message starts coming in, snippets of audio before a sound like somebody clearing their throat before stating, "People of the Soul System." And then there is a massive burst of static and what sounds like some kind of guttural screaming. And as you are still traveling away from this vessel, you can see there are parts of the ship that seem to be detaching from it, and small blue flares as something is flying inward from the system of a design that looks different from the overall shape of the vessel. Most likely, you would assume, seeing as how the initial message seemed to be fairly benign, maybe two different entities that had arrived together, whether by choice or not.
So is the ship breaking up then?
There seems to be, now that you have a good look at it, smaller, not quite as small as the rover drones, but smaller machines of some kind that are detaching from the exterior of the larger ship. Kind of, you might think, sort of like ticks that have been detached from a dog or other entity. And as they detach, where they were attached, there do seem to be holes.
I mean, well, so we can see it, or is this?
You can see it from the distance that you're traveling. They are,
Like naked eye? Okay.
yeah. You're not so massively far away yet that you can't see it, which means that these vessels that you are seeing detaching are probably be about the same size as yours.
So because we're stellar travel, is it? I mean, this isn't like a light jump kind of situation.
This is definitely something that was propelled by means that you, at least, do not know. It's possible maybe somebody further in system is experimenting with this kind of technology. Maybe the Stellar Alliance has, capabilities that is not released to the general public. But considering the design of the larger ship and the smaller ones that were attached to it, and the broadcast that they gave, it definitely seems like this is not something that came from the Sol system. This seems like a possible attempt at first contact that encountered something else on its way toward the Sol system.
We're not a military ship. I don't know if there's anything we can do.
No, we're completely effed if they see us, if they already know that we're there, like if they already have us on scanners, and we can't jump anywhere. So these craft are small, right? They're like intercept craft. Not that speed really matters in space, right? But it
No,
could.
just acceleration.
Yeah. So if they can
Really,
accelerate fast than us,
delta V is what matters, not top speed.
yeah. Well, what do you think our best course of action is? Just continue to get the hell out of here?
Let's accelerate as fast as we can in the away from this thing.
Okay, yeah. Well, then that is what we will do.
Okay. As you go, are you going to transmit any warning, or are you going to go calm silent and just try to get the hell out of there?
Oh, I think we're going to go comp silent. I mean, that's what I would do.
Yeah, there's no way that anybody else in the area didn't notice this, so we're just going to be as small as possible.
Okay.
I agree.
And with that, you are able to make your way away from this situation, and as you do end up arriving, everybody is pretty much received the message that is originally broadcast, and there's plenty of rumors, people, excited about the possibility of first contact, except then there's plenty of other people who are like, yeah, but about those screams and the static at the end of it, and the fact that there's now multiple vessels that are moving inward. Over the next few days, you are able to certainly enjoy the time between different shipments before receiving information from your company that effective immediately, all transportation from them has been commandeered by the Stellar Alliance to start shipping any goods and materials. They are purchasing it directly from the asteroid mining projects and from the refineries toward dockyards, where they are starting to assemble a fleet, as it is becoming necessary, as you are finding out in the report, as some of their larger vessels that usually would be going up against these pirate fleets are currently engaged, and they are preparing for in case anything else arrives in the system. So, consistent pay.
We're in the Army now.
But you have... you're still considered under contract, but your contract has been bought out. Everybody's contract has been bought out.
Interesting.
So, with that, we reach the conclusion. Is there anything that you'd like to say or do as this information has come into you? There is the opportunity, if you just simply decide let's get the heck out of Dodge and try to shove off outside the Sol system, or you could try to lay low and just not fulfill the contract. But you would, in the future, more or less be potentially delivering shipments through areas that may be a bit more complicated, and possibly on several of them end up with escorts to ensure that shipments are delivered where necessary.
I think Lester would probably try to just execute on the contract. It's better pay for the job that he's doing, and I don't think he would give a damn as far as the increased risk is concerned until he's like faced with that risk, right? Like until he's getting shot at, I think he'd be fine with it. And he's been shot at before now, right? So I think that he would just try to execute on the contract as best he could and stay out in space and keep hauling with Brent and make his life that way, make his living that way.
Yep.
All right. Well, with that, I will stop the broadcast, and we can do a little brief discussion afterward off air. But thanks to...
No, thank you very much. This was really great because you're in the geekverse, and maybe you want to end the stream before we talk about all this, but I just wanted to say, like, you talk quite a bit about the FARAD system and its benefits, and having firsthand experience now, it was really great for you to offer to do this one shot, even though it took us a little bit of time to actually sit down and get here and do it. I appreciate your time. I appreciate the effort. I'm very grateful. So thank you very much.
Thank you for playing in it, and thank you also to Titterpig Rancher. And as I said, I will just end the broadcast. I'll also thank PH Arbix, who decided to drop in and give it a bit of a listen as well. And
awesome.
We will end it there and talk a little bit off air for however long you guys wish to do so.
Sounds good to me. Thanks again, Micah.
Yeah, thank you.